So, a while back, I did a review on the Corsair 4000D, and that case actually became the case that I used for my personal gaming PC. But I got this other case here for a deal, and figured, you know, it's a pretty popular one on the market right now. I see it on Newegg. It's around the same price as the 4000D. Might be a pretty good alternative, so let's do a little review of it. This is the Cooler Master TD500 case. It's actually shockingly similar, I found, to the 4000D. So it's going to be very similar to build in, but it does have a few features that I think we should go over and, yeah, just kind of explore. So, let's get started. So, to start with here at the front, what I like about this case over the 4000D is that the 4000D is kind of boxy. So typically what that means is that here on the top, this flat top up here is where you will have your I/O. But for this particular case, you can kind of see how the shield at the front is angled. Now what that does is it allows you to put your USB and your power and headphones, reset button, all that is at an angle. So you can actually look at it and press it, rather than having to feel on the top where you can't see it if it's on your desk. So I like that a lot. Got your Cooler Master logo up here. You reach underneath it right here and you just pull off, and that takes the front off there. You don't have to worry about any kinds of cables. There's no USB harnesses on this front plate. This is a mesh plate. It's got these little, it's all kind of angular and textured. It's got these little diamond indentions. That's pretty neat. It gives it a kind of a distinct appearance. Here we have our 3 RGB fans. Those come included with the case. Got the wires routed up here. Got your USB like I mentioned earlier. So that's pretty simple. The fans are screwed in from the back here. So if you wanted to upgrade those, you do need to have the side panel and the front panel off if you want to upgrade them. Pretty simple. What I don't like about this compared to the 4000D, the 4000D, this front part comes off a lot easier. It's just a little, it's not really a front plate that goes into the case. It's just a little panel that you just pull off very easily. So that makes replacing things quite a bit easier on the 4000D. So I do have to give that credit where it is due. So, oh, it's upside down. So I will say, I got to give the Corsair 4000D credit in that regard. At the top here, we have, I think this is actually a little bit more real estate than the 4000D. We have room for 3 120mm fans or a 360mm radiator if you want, but we also have a little bit more width up here. If you wanted to do water cooling in this case, it should have plenty of room for it as well. Obviously removable magnetic dust filter, of course, so pretty standard stuff. This is actually, the 4000D that I looked at was both kind of white, it was just white, white and gray. This one is white and black, so that color scheme is, you know, depending on the colors of your setup, that might be something to consider. The side panel. So the side panel for this particular case only has the 2 thumb screws at the top. So we just have to undo these 2 little screws. These are captive screws, so you don't need to worry about losing them. Side panel comes off, it kind of lifts out, and there you go. The Corsair one was pretty similar, although I feel like that one also had a little bit of an easier time coming out, just with the mechanism in place. As you can see, it's not cracks. This, the glass is kind of, it has these little notches or lines carved into it. I guess it's kind of like that front panel with the diamond cutouts. I guess it's supposed to give it kind of like a crystal vibe. I don't know. I'm not really a huge fan of the aesthetic, but you know, to each his own, I suppose. Got a very nice white PSU shroud. The original case comes with a little cover right here. This little cutout lets you show the power supply logo. You can cover that up. It actually didn't come with mine. I bought this secondhand. but you can do that if you want, so that's nice to have the option. I do like a power supply shroud to keep the air in a separate chamber if you want. We can support basically every motherboard on the market, from ITX all the way up to extended ATX if you want. In fact, this one is actually the screws in here, the threads are actually for extended ATX if you want, so that's obviously an option. Got the rubber grommets here for your cable management, your 24-pin, your 4-pin, 8-pin, PCI connectors, everything that you need. So there's that, pretty standard. Here is where your fans are screwed in, so this is where you would get access to those screws that you need. Pretty standard, nothing else to really report there. As you can see in the front, I don't personally do a whole lot of water cooling, but if you want to include a reservoir for water cooling, this case just has a ton of room for it, so it will be able to do whatever you need it to do. Got some holes on that PSU shroud there for 2.5mm SSDs you can mount on the top there. Got your cutouts for your SATA connector and your power. So if you want to mount if you're someone who likes to mount your 2.5-inch drives so that people can see them, you can certainly do that. Now the case, as you can see, does not include any sort of rear fan. That is a little bit depressing, especially this case. MSRP is for $100. I would like to see that last fan included in there. I think that it's worth it from a just, you know, for how much we're paying for this thing. I do think that that's worth it. These PCIe covers are removable with some screws. They are not, you know, punch outs, so you can put them back in. If you want to, you know, resell the case later on, you can certainly do that. As for the back panel, these screws are also captive, so I can take them off fairly easily. Back panel comes off quick. Very painless, very easy to work with. And then we have our back here to work with. So what we have is 2 sleds for 3.5-inch hard drives if you want. We also have our fan connectors. These actually break out into a single splitter. So this is where all of the fans are plugged into, and then these 2 little headers go into your motherboard, so you can actually control the RGB. So these are addressable RGB fans, which are pretty cool. And the fans are, I believe, they're 3 pins, so they're not PWM controlled, it seems. That's a shame. Oh well, that's probably fine. Oh wait, no, I might have been looking at the wrong thing actually. Let me see. No, I was wrong. These are actually, I was looking at the wrong cable. That was the RGB cable. The actual fans are 4 pins, so yes, these are PWM controlled fans. So that's nice. You don't get all 4, but you do get some good quality ones, which is cool. Plenty of room for cable management. You have a bunch of these little grooves here, so you can insert your Velcro ties or your zip ties. I personally use zip ties. If you want to use, here at the bottom here in the power supply chamber, we do have some rubberized feet for you to set the power supply on, so it's not conducting anything. The hard drive cage, if you don't use hard drives, at the bottom you have the screws here where you can unscrew it and take out the hard drive cage, so that you can take out the you can take the cage out if you need more room for your power supply cables. So you can fit, basically you can have this entire bottom cavity free and fit the biggest power supply you want and stuff all the cables inside there. If you're using a modular power supply, I don't really think that's much of an issue, but it's just kind of there if you need the space and if you want the option, it's there for you. So yeah, oh, at the bottom, power supply filter, removable. You can take it off, you can put it back on. Not magnetic, it kind of goes in these little grooves, so I've had it fall out a few times, which is kind of annoying, but it's fine. I'm glad that it's there at the end of the day. So yeah, that's good. And of course your rubberized feet. And that's pretty much my overview of the case. So closing thoughts are that this case, it's a very similar price to the 4000D, and the build quality and the features are pretty much identical. I'm actually kind of shocked at how much of a clone it is. It really just kind of comes down to the overall cosmetic design. Which do you like the look of more? Do you like the flat panel with all the holes in it for the Corsair, or do you like the mesh angular front panel of the Cooler Master? I think I'm probably more of a fan of the Corsair one, just because that front panel is so easy to remove. It's quite nice. That's just me personally, but this is still definitely not a bad case. If you decide to pick this up, you're getting a good product. I think I can fully recommend it. It's got pretty much anything that you would need when you're building your PC. So yeah, I think that this is a good one. And then once you want to put the side panel back on, you have a little grooved piece of metal. It just kind of goes onto the lip of the bottom, and it just kind of sits there, held in by that lip of metal. And then you tighten the thumbsticks back. Come on. And then you are good to go. All right. So yeah, that's basically my overview of the TD500 from Cooler Master. Again, I think it's a great case. Very, very reminiscent of the 4000D from Corsair. I think that no matter what you decide, they're both great cases. You're going to get your money's worth for sure. You know, I think a case is really one of those things where you buy one really, really good quality one, and then you can just bring it forward for whatever build that you want in the future. So I think that that's the way to go. And this is definitely a good one. So yeah, tell me what you think down below. Leave your comments. Tell me what you think of this case. Do you have this case? Do you want to buy it? All that good stuff. But yeah, that's my review of the Cooler Master case. Be sure to subscribe if you want to see more tech content in the future. Leave a like. Yeah, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.